Presenting now is Daniel Prekeme Darko. He is a music professional and social entrepreneur at the intersection of music education and entrepreneurship. A Muson School of Music graduate, voice major with minors in piano, guitar, and violin. He founded the Darko's Music Foundation, reaching 4,000 plus students in underserved Nigerian schools, an SDG 4 advocate, Harvard Aspire leader, UPG sustainability leader, and Kektil colleague. Daniel holds ABRSM CPD credits in classroom music. He bridges formal theory with oral traditions, repositioning musicians as agents of knowledge production and community transformation. He is dedicated to ensuring African music remains a living narrative for the future. He will be presenting Sustaining African Music, a Dual Epistemology Approach.
Good afternoon, distinguished professors, doctors, and music scholars. I want to first of all use this opportunity to thank Dr. and Dr. Mrs. D.K. Olukoya for this initiative. I know other conferences like this, you would have to pay for them, but this is totally free and from Monday to Friday. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the introduction and background. African music, as you all know, it transcends mere aesthetic entertainment. It is an ontological grounding. Ontological grounding mechanizing fundamental intertwined with communal life, ritual practices, and historical identity. Captured Africans, like during the slave trade era, they use music as a tool for survival. Spiritual songs, they sing work songs, which carry sophisticated doubled voice layers of meaning. Now, this functioned as, a tool for operational resistance also, even while they were under oppressive conditions, like working in the plantations and even during, the capture. Now, despite its historical durability, the contemporary academic landscape presents a structural challenge. Modern institutional music education in Africa heavily privileges Western Eurocentric classical frameworks, marginalizing indigenous oral systems. This creates a tension between formal codified music theories and community-grounded performance traditions. As urbanization and external media models accelerate, musicologists warn that traditional indigenous music systems face isolation if higher education curricula do not purposefully integrate African ways of knowing. Now, the theoretical frameworks on post-colonial Africanist musicology. Inzewi posits that African creative thought rejects the Western compartmentalization of music, drama, and folklore into isolated categories. Instead, it demands a holistic curriculum where theory is extracted from the lived experience of performance and community intersection. Agau also said that the structural logic of music cannot be separated from the physical language of the body, the metronome sense, which is unconsciously absorbed through the deep subconscious communal enculturation experienced within the performance space. Now, my question is, how can contemporary music education effectively synthesize formal propositional Western music theories with native systems of embodied oral enculturation to achieve sustainable cultural preservation and educational equity? The objective, the research would establish a dual framework, which creates theoretical model that bridges formal written notated musical typologies with indigenous performance-led modes of musical enculturation. Now, some literature reviews. Nketiah conceptualized an Africanist musicology that positioned traditional performance not merely as objects of archival preservation, but as living form of art that is capable of driving national identity and intellectual decolonization. Francis Bebey also emphasized that African music is an inherently collective property requiring deliberate pedagogical translation to flower within global cultural understanding. Agawo also said that structural analysis of African music not strip away its kinetic rhythm and physical language, as even bodily movement is structurally tied to musical logic itself. Now, this paper utilizes a mixed analytical framework termed the dual epistemic approach, which is the 2Ps matrix. Now, this approach are the pedagogical approach and the performance-led approach. For the pedagogical approach, it focuses on structure, notation, transcription, synthesization of African music properties using formal academic conventions that ensures analytical legibility, cross-cultural translation, and access to international scholarly discourse. The second approach is the performance-led approach, which is the embodied epistemology. This focuses on the experiential, immersive, and community-situated transmission modes native to African cultural context, what is felt and heard. It relies directly on call and response, rhythmic internalization, and situational improvisation. Now, the operationalization of this framework is analyzed through a descriptive case study of the Darko's Music Foundation in Nigeria. The study uses qualitative program evaluations, community advocacy records, and quantifiable student registration through data that is compiled between September 2004 and May 2026. We are going to watch a video now of how this two-piece matrix has been done by the Darko's Music Foundation, and then see the result and findings after all.
The Music Foundation.
Thank you. Now, we see that The findings. The integrated model successfully reached and engaged over 4,000 students across regional cohorts in Nigeria. Students exposed to this dual framework demonstrated accelerated cognitive mapping, showing high proficiency in reading Western notation, while simultaneously exhibiting the rhythmic flexibility and improvisational capacity characterized of native embodied, oral and oral enculturation. Now, through this pedagogical lens, complex African rhythmic matrices such as emulas and asymmetric polymeters are rendered structurally visible and analytically transparent. Concurrently, the performance-led lens prevents these notations from becoming dry, sterile abstraction by ensuring that they remain grounded in visceral, emotional, and physical execution. Now, the implication and the contributions of this study: educational equity, which provides a curriculum with a replicable cultural responsive blueprints that accommodates diverse cognitive styles, dismantling the historical hierarchy that places written traditions above oral modes of learning. Cultural sustainability, it offers a defense against cultural erosion also by documenting traditions through notation while preserving the communal performance ecosystem. It safeguards the endangered musical expression for future generations without isolating them from academic global dialogues. It reclaims intellectual agency. The practitioner is transformed, from an intuitive folk performer into a highly sophisticated intellectual translator who moves fluidly between the distinct epistemologies. And then historical continuity, of course. It connects modern pedagogical interventions to a grand lineage of macro cultural assertion, just like we see from clear historical landmark Pan-African standard bearers, such as the Premier Festival Mondial des Arts Nègres, the first one 66 in Dakar, and then Festac 77 in Lagos. We both championed the systemic valorization of Black and African creative knowledge on a global scale. But then the limitations and future directions to this study. A core limitations of this framework lies in the structural friction between Eurocentric notation and African musical properties. Standard Western notation, like the 2/4, 3/4, and the rest of them, often struggles to accurately capture the microtonal vocal inflections, non-tampered tonings, and fluid polymeters that are inherent to native African idioms. By forcing these oral traditions into a rigid Western grid, researchers risk subtle flattening the musical expression of freedom. Now, future research must also focus on development of specialized digital transcription software and hybrid notations that are designed specifically for African musical structures. In conclusion, to ensure that the long sustainability of African music is held, it requires moving past binary pedagogical thinking by establishing a dual epistemological framework that values formal music theory and embodied oral enculturation equally. Modern music education can foster a generation of multiliterate musicians. This approach ensures that African musical arts will continue to survive, evolve, and profoundly impact the global landscape. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darko. Okay, so the floor is open for questions and contributions. Our online family, we haven't left you out. If you have any questions, please raise your hand so that we can call on you. Do we have any questions? Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Shego. You showed us a video, and the video didn't tell all the stories. So my question is just to stimulate you to tell us some part of the story. So I saw children playing stick together. So in what topic of the Western theory are you teaching? that you now bring them together to play with the stick, so that I can understand in all this dual approach. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Darko. Wonderful presentation. I also am confused. Your experiment was with secondary school or primary
Yes.
school?
Yes.
I
Junior
guess we
secondary.
should have seen that in your, because it's good to start from there, at least create that thing, make them pass through that kind of model and then coming out. So we should have seen that at least from as your case study, the people who are the model is meant for. So we will be able to now understand where you are going. Also, we need the explanation on that video, because just saw kids playing around, enjoying themselves, and then a trumpeter mimicking the trumpet, not the person playing it already. I don't know why we had to see that kind of a video. So maybe you explain the video to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Because of our time, I also enjoyed your paper, but I got confused too that when you're presenting and you're giving too much information, such questioning will arise. I thought there should have been a synergy between what you are showing us and what you're talking about. There wasn't any information. This is my own difference. Thank you.
So do we have any more questions so that Mr. Darko can respond to all the questions at once? Would you like to go on and respond, Mr.
Oh,
Darko?
yes, please. All right. So for the first question, I'll tie it to Doctor's question also, because it's similar. So I actually mentioned that this, particular approach, the case study was, through public school children in Nigeria, precisely Lagos. These kids have not been exposed to music because even the CCA, they don't do it in their schools. So Western, kind of music notations and even our own embodied, kind of music, they really do not have a taste of what it looks like, or haven't done that before. So those children playing also, they, like you say, what were they doing? Okay, so yeah, for the drumming, right? It was I wish the audio was. It was African music they were playing to, so it was kind of an improvisation on the drum. And if you look at the drum too, it's not like an actual drum. Yeah, we had to improvise to use buckets just to have that African feel, because we can't go all the way getting drums to this school. And then you could see that they were also able to come to the board and identify those notes, and then still, so the study helps them to be able to be balanced in both sides. That is, for Western music theory, they know the theory, they know what it is like. And then when it comes to our Africanness too, they can also do what? Improvise, like the boy on trumpet. He actually did some improvisation. The music, there was call and response, so that I can balance, formal frameworks and African enculturation also. Thank you.
It's more like my approach. It's okay. I said it already. I said your research is more like by musicality approach in education, music education.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I said.
You understand?
Thank you so much, Mr. Darko. Do we have any more questions? Do we have questions from our online viewers, online participants? Please, if you have any questions online. Okay, so we have questions here. Mr. Omokweluye Korede.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for your your presentation. Now, is there your output, is there a kind of a model curriculum or something that you are coming up with that is transferable? I know that what you have done, I mean, and I don't want to say more than that, but what you have done now, do you have it codified to a curriculum that is transferable and can be used by other people at that level?
Thank you, sir. So we are actually working on a curriculum as it stands, but unfortunately, because they are school students, we also have to abide by the one that they have, even whilst we are working on the one we have, so that they don't get to, there will not be lapses in what they see in their tests, in what they see in their exams, and in what is being taught. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Ayo Oluroti, do you have a question? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Do we have any more questions, please? None. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Darko. Thank you so much.